Hi, so just going to run through a 10-minute runners related workout. It's going to be highlighting your lower legs, so your feet, your ankles, calves, then up into your knees and your hips, working on stability, stiffness, which is important when we're running. We want our legs to be nice and strong and stiff and stable, so when we put our foot down, there's no lack of efficiency, we're not losing any of that effort and energy, it's just staying strong, ready for you to spring forward onto your next running stride. So a lot of work involving a bit of balance, a little bit of coordination. If you struggle with some of those, by all means get yourself near to a wall or something, a chair, table, anything that might just help you with a little bit of balance and assistance. Today I'm going to demonstrate a couple of the exercises using just a couple of accessories. So one of them standing on a block and another one holding a kettlebell. Where I'm using the kettlebell, you could use a hand weight, a dumbbell, or just do it body weight is absolutely fine as well. Where I'm going to stand on the block, you can absolutely do it on the floor. Just raising yourself up a little bit increases your range of movement, which can make the exercise feel a little bit harder, but it's absolutely fine to do it on the floor. For the purposes of today, I'm going to run through it with 45 seconds worth of activity, 15 seconds whilst we swap sides or move on to the next exercise. So all in all, 10 minutes worth of work. If you then want to repeat that, that'll give you quite a good 20-minute workout. Okay, right, we'll crack on. First one is called around the clock. So I'm going to be standing on the block. I'm going to stand on one foot and I'm going to be touching down every 2 hours, going around the clock face. 45 seconds on one side and then 45 on the other, and we'll just crack on and I'll see you properly in 10 minutes time. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we start at 12, 2, 4, 6, and then slightly complicated one behind at 8, and then across the front to 10. And we start again, 12, 2, 4. Now you'll need to use your arms for a bit of coordination and a bit of balance. And all the time I'm keeping my foot flat and my heel down on my standing leg. And I'm making sure I'm standing all the way up after each point on the clock. And we'll pause there. I'll do this one side on so you can see from that angle. So I'm changing legs. And like I said, you can do this on the floor. Now just going the opposite way around the clock. 12, 10, 8, 6, around the corner to 4, and across to 2. Again, my heel is down on my standing leg. I'm using my arms just to help coordinate it a bit. I'm sitting into my hips. Again, I'm standing up after each one. Last time round. Okay, pause there. Next one is a one-legged squat. I'm going to use a weight, and today I'm going to hold the weight on the same leg that I'm stood on. But it's not wrong, it's just a different variation if you have it in alternative or opposite. So a one-leg squat, we've started, push your bum back, hips and knees, decent posture. We're not trying to get the weight down to the floor. It's okay to lean forward as long as we're coming from the hips. We're not just leaning over here. We need to sit the bum back and engage through there. If we really struggle with the balance, it's okay to just keep your big toe on the floor behind, or don't go quite as far. Now, we might get a bit tired up around our outer hip and bum area. and then our foot and ankle, because it's 2 exercises back to back, all work in a very similar area. Pause there. Change hands if you're using a weight, obviously changing legs. So from there, get the balance again, stick your bum out, and then we bend, we're back up. So trying to stop your knee from collapsing in towards the middle. So that's where the sitting the bum back helps. Trying to keep your knees following the general line of your toes, or direction of your toes. Like I said, if you wanted to mix it up, you can go opposite hand and bring the weight down there, that's fine as well. Or obviously no weight at all, and working on perhaps trying to get towards your sock or your shoe. So a nice big range of movement. And relax. Next one, today we'll do Cossack squats. So we'll have feet nice and wide apart. Part way through I'll grab a weight and show you the option of how to use the weight. Legs are wide, push your bum back, squat to one side, come back up, squat to the other side, like so. You're moving away from a straight leg and squatting to the one side there. If you want to use a weight, whatever it is, hold it nice and high and tight to you, squatting into the hip, from the side, it looks a little bit like so. And pause, down onto the floor. We'll just pause it for a second. Down on your back, we're going to do some bridge work. Now a normal bridge, feet flat on the floor, up here. Today I want our feet a little further out, they're on our heels, toes are pointing upwards, so we're trying to get a bit more engagement in our hamstrings in the back of our legs. As we go through, I'll show you a couple of alternatives just to mix it up a little. So our first option is just here, pushing down through the heels and staying up there. You get a bit of extra stability with your elbows on the floor if you want to. Now to make this exercise a little harder, you could try having your feet a little further out. If you find that it's a bit too difficult, then really try and reinforce the legs doing the work, or bring your feet back in. Or another option, a little bit of support with the arms. Can you, just for a moment, lift those feet up and down? That's going to put more work through one leg at a time. Remember, running is a one leg at a time dominant movement. And relax down. So now we'll combine that with single leg thrusters. So if I start with my left foot, I'm going to hold my right leg towards me, but it's then just switched off and passive. I'm just supporting that knee and leg. I'm going to push through my left, pause at the top for a moment, and back down. Drive up nice and strong, and back down. I'm not pulling on my arms, I'm getting all the push away from the floor by pushing through that left leg at the moment. Nearly there. And pause. Hold up. Change sides. The right foot's going to do the work. I'm just gently holding that left leg towards me. That's just to stop me from swinging up and down, and to keep the work through a push through the dominant or the active leg. Off we go. Up and pause. Back down. Again, that pause at the top just adds a little bit of extra time under tension. In a challenging position of the exercise, it just means your hamstrings in your bum, just having to load for a little bit longer, which is a good thing. And relax. Right, last one of this little group is, we'll start with right leg straight, left leg bent, leaning back slightly. That leg is straight, toes are pointing up, and we're lifting up and down. Engaging from our hip and our thigh. We're never resting on the floor, we're just touching down, keeping your middle engaged. This doesn't look much, but kicks in as you get towards the end. Nice and strong all the way through. Last couple. And relax. And then last one, got the other leg to do. Again, good seated position, well supported on your arms. Toes are pointing up. Engage through your thigh. Get ready in the hip flexor, and off we go. Try and keep the move nice and smooth. As you get more tired, it might get a little bit shaky, a bit jerky. And pause. Well done. Good. So that is just a few fairly simple exercises that can be made harder by adding weights onto the ones whilst we were stood up. Otherwise, they're just body weight and they're still absolutely fine as body weight. In terms of how to progress body weight exercises, we either need to try and make the range of movement a little bit bigger. We need to try and fit more repetitions in this format if we're doing it for time, just trying to do a bit more work within the time of the circuit, so 45 seconds for example there, or ideally adding some load and adding some weight in there, so your body starts to tolerate more than your body weight. So then when you do body weight activities like running, which is actually more than body weight, the forces going through your body when you're running are multiplied, or anything from 2 to 5 times more than when you're just stood on your legs. So getting used to tolerating a heavier load is a good form of progression. So have a go at that. Like I said, once through, even better if you go through it twice, and I would suggest doing that 2 to 3 times a week. Those exercises aren't the be all and end all of all running exercise, just a short example of 4 or 5 different things, but there's no end of stuff that we can work on, and I'll try and do a few more videos in the future. Okay, see how you get on.